Hey, what's going on, everybody? Listen, I wanted to speak a little bit about health. Health has been on my mind lately, on my conscience lately. I so desire to live as long as I can for those that need me, and I want to be around for them. And so I take health seriously. And you guys know I've been pretty athletic. I've done different type of competitions, and I'm a pretty physical person. I enjoy being physical. I'd rather be on a sledgehammer or a shovel than in the office any day. That's just how I am. It's just how I'm made up. Don't ask me why. I don't have the best of answers for you on that. But long story short, I'm a little on my case lately about health. I'm a little out of shape. I'm not eating as good as I should, and I take that serious, and I'm getting back on the ball, taking better care of myself. I'm in great shape, probably compared to a lot of folks. I probably eat pretty darn good compared to a lot of folks. But the reality of it is we are what we eat. And our quality of life, even in just our feelings, moods, and emotions, has a huge amount to do with what we eat. So I just want to share with you guys what little bit I know that might be a blessing to somebody out there as I'm walking through this myself. You guys know that I've done the competition for in my son's honor, and I basically got ready for that bodybuilding contest in like 6 weeks. I just pulled out a bunch of tricks of the trade, all the things I knew, and I hustled and worked hard and just made it happen. It just wasn't the best way to do things, but I got it there and I got it done. But a couple things I'd like to share with you guys. One thing that I would like to point out to you is about fat. So fat is our help or our enemy. Just as well as anything in life, too much of anything is not a good thing. And naturally, there are different body types. Naturally, there are humans that run with leaner bodies, and then there are people that naturally hold fat. And I'm one of those. My body actually naturally holds fat. I have never had a perfectly flat stomach. About the time I'm ready to hit the stage and on competition, my stomach's pretty flat and I'm ripped. But that's just naturally a spot for me that just maintains and holds fat a little more. And that could be a good thing. It has a lot to do with your breed and where you're from. So a lot of my bloodline comes from very cold climates and climates that you would do a lot of hunting. You would go a pretty good distance and for several, maybe days, a distance without eating. And you need that body fat as for energy and support. But the fuel basically. But the other reason for body fat is it's also an insulator. It's an insulation to help keep you warm. So your body fat is there for two things. It's to preserve and save energy for tough times, and it's also to help keep us insulated. Like part of the reasons why we hold belly fat and back fat is because our body is insulating our organs and protecting our main organs. But if you have too much fat in those areas, then those organs are running hotter than they should. The temperature in those areas are hotter than they should and overworking the organs. And so basically, if you're overweight, you need to realize that you have health issues. That is just a reality. If you're fighting weight and your body is consistently wanting to hold weight, and it's more than roughly, they say fair play is anywhere from 15 to 30 pounds that you can carry body fat safely. I tend to think it's a little less, and I have my own reasons for that, but that's pretty much fair play what they say. I can't remember, was it the English Channel and I can't remember who swam it, but there was an article that I read one time when I was pretty young, and it was basically this athlete, he had intentionally put on a certain amount of weight because he understood there was a certain amount of weight that he was going to lose in just this swim. So basically, let's just say it was English Channel. From the time that this person began swimming and to the end of the swim, they lost over 28 pounds. He put on like 30 extra pounds so that the body would have reserved energy, which would be fat. And And then I would imagine it'd be pretty good too, because you're in the water that long, and it helps keep your body temperature up. But basically what I want to point out to you guys is this is the most important thing about being overweight and being out of shape. If you're overweight, it is a plain and clear sign that you're not as healthy as you can be. That there are things going on in your body that are not healthy. They may not be detrimental at the moment, but they can become detrimental. And let me just explain to you how the body works. When you go to sleep at night, you've eaten, you drink, you've had your last meal. Your body, after about an hour or so into sleep, it goes into a fast mode. And there's certain things, different things happen when you're sleeping. Your growth hormone is up, a lot of hormones are up. And when you get up in the morning, your body is still in what is called a fast mode, where you've been fasting, you've not been eating, you may not even been drinking. Some people get up and have something to drink in the middle of the night. But your body is basically in a fast stage. And that fast stage is actually pretty good. Your hormones, your growth hormone, your testosterone, everything is at its highest peak and its highest limit. And so basically that's where a lot of people do what's called the keto diet. When you wake up and you're in that fast mode, you have ketones that are basically, your body is a lot. You just got to read up on it. And your body's in that mode until you eat. Once you eat, you have broke that fast, and that's why we call it breakfast. Breakfast is actually break the fast. And so it's pretty natural to try to go as long as you can as you're older, within reason. Don't push yourself, don't fall out, but to try to have a later breakfast or even eat around lunch. That's what I do a lot of times. And the thing is about that, there's a lot of benefits, and you can read up to it, that it helps to fight against cancer, it helps keep your skin young, it helps keep the body right, it helps keep insulin right, it's easier on your pancreas, it's just a lot of help for your organs. There's just a lot of stuff there. But one thing and one theory about it is your cells are completely empty at that time and at that moment. If your body is in a true fast, your cells are empty and they're hungry and they're ready to absorb. And that's why your first meal of the day is the most important meal of the day, because that's what you're filling them cells up with. So if you get up in the morning and you have some cupcakes with your coffee, or I used to love honey buns in the morning, and you eat sugar and you eat junk food, if that's your first food, well, all that you've eaten is going directly to your cells. And sugar is very bad about blocking the cells. In other words, your body will absorb, your cells will absorb sugar so fast, and then they will reject the other nutrients that you're getting throughout the day that should be going to your cells. So if you make your first meal of the day sugar, well, now your body is full, your cells are full rather, of sugar. And depending on the person and when your cells have used and utilized all that energy and are able and receptive to be able to accept more nutrients. So there's a very good possibility if your first meal of the day can technically be your body's only meal of the day. Your body may not accept anything else the rest of the day. Your cells may not accept anything else the rest of the day. Just because you're hungry does not mean that your body needs to eat. If that were the case, then why would people be overweight? The other problem is it also can sugars also mess with your insulin, and then all the other foods that you've eaten that are good foods, like say, let's have you had your junk food first thing in the morning, and then you go to eat, and say come lunchtime you decide to eat a good wholesome meal. That good wholesome meal is now just stuck in your bloodstream. It's just kind of, what is your body going to do with it? Because your cells are rejecting it because they're full. Now you become insulin dependent. Now you become insulin resistant rather. Now you start having trouble with insulin, and eventually when a person can eventually actually become diabetic from just something that simple. Sugar is a huge enemy. The other issue with sugar is your brain loves sugar. Your brain would love to just live off sugar alone, and it totally could. It's not so healthy for your body, but it's real simple and real easy for the brain. That's why when students are taking tests, they encourage them to eat a piece of candy or a peppermint or something, because that's instant energy for the brain. Instant. And instead, your brain will get lazy. It'll take a shortcut, and instead of demanding your body to produce what it needs out of the foods and the fats, instead of demanding that of your body, it'll just rely on the sugar. So the trick to sugar is you got to be off of it for 72 hours before your brain goes into, oh no, I need energy. And then your brain will start demanding your body to start processing the fuel it needs. And then once that starts to happen, you lose that crave for sugar, and you lose that crave for hunger. Sugar will make you very hungry. You can eat sugar and be starving an hour later. It is a worthless letdown. That's what they call that sugar high and that extreme drop. The problem is, though, your brain can get kind of lazy, and it will stop the body from producing what it needs out of what you eat to feed it. And that's not good, because the problem is there is more calories and fat burning that you would be doing without even thinking about it. Do you burn fat in your sleep? Absolutely. Your body is totally repairing and rebuilding everything and recouping for the next day, and it burns fat for that. So if you've eaten a good, wholesome, lean diet, once your body goes into fast that night, it can potentially pull from your fats to do all the repairing and healing and everything it needs to do in that rest of sleep. And then when you wake up and eat, you have now broke that fast. Your body is not using its stored foods anymore. The hormone levels drop down. Everything changes. So I would encourage you guys. There is a bunch that I know. I'm no scientist. I have lived a lot of interesting experiences in my life, and I've learned a lot of things, and I've picked up some things along the way. But we're in a give or take world nowadays, and there's more take than give. And people ignore just basic good sound science, basic good sound knowledge and information, and we're a do-gooder society anymore. We do whatever we see and we think that's what's good, and it's not necessarily the way it goes. So I would encourage you this: if you're fighting weight, if you're fighting weight gain, if you're fighting being overweight, it is unhealthy. It is a good indication that something is not properly working in your body. And it may just be the sugar. It may just be the carbs and such that your body just cannot break down. Your cells are being fooled with a lot of stuff that is doing your body no good, pushing your insulin around and just streaming around. Everything is just so far out of balance. So I want you to realize a weight issue is a health issue. Just because you say, I'm only 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight, that is still unhealthy. That is an indicator that your body is not functioning properly, that you are not producing, you are not receiving, you are not burning, you're not utilizing. Something about your body is not working properly. You don't look around at others and expect your body to look like others. You find out what your good balance is and your healthy balance for your body, and you can do that in research. You can search your blood type and see the type of food you're supposed to be eating. You can see what body type you are and basically how much fat percentage and muscle percentage. There's all kinds of science to it. But if you're fighting a weight problem, one or two things are happening. There is something going wrong in your body, or you just have a poor diet. And most likely something going wrong with your body could definitely be coming from a poor diet. So just keep that in mind, do some research, but most importantly, I want you to realize this: if you are fighting weight, if you are fighting body fat, that is a pure, clean indication that you are not as healthy as that you should be. And you very well could damage some organs and damage some things that could be permanent. And it can definitely shorten life, or it can definitely make life long and miserable in some areas. So keep that in mind. Think about what you're eating. You guys keep up with me in the next couple months. I'm going to start a new workout, man, and do some new differences. And I've already started eating better. And I'm not way far out, but I know I'm not where I need to be. And I've been intentionally not taking care of myself in some ways. When my son passed, I wanted to I wanted to show up at that bodybuilding show, and I wanted to represent him, and I wanted to honor him, and it gave me something to drive after that, and work, and my family. It kept my head busy with, dealing with the treacherous loss of my son. And once that show was over, I was kind of like, in the health way, I'm just like, man, it's like I had that to look forward to, and I just kind of got depressed and lost that drive, and I hadn't been eating like I should be eating. I hadn't been working out like I should be working out. I hadn't been taking care and thinking of my health. And it's been intentional. I know what I was doing, but I was just kind of leaving the mourning. I will always mourn my son's loss, but that stage of that time, there's a time to mourn. If you remember that scripture, there's a time for everything. And that was, I'm transposing from the mourning time into becoming to a point of honoring and living out and keeping the best I can and doing the best I can with everything in mind, and to honor my son. So I'm leaving a stage of mourning and not so much forgetting the loss of my son or getting over it, but to live to honor him. And let's talk about what's the best way I can honor him. Well, obviously taking care of myself would be honoring my son. Being as healthy and as great as I could for my family and people that matter would be honoring my son, to live out ideas and goals and things that he had in mind. And that's what we're doing with this business. Him and I were hustling. But just to let you guys know, I'm not shirt off preaching because I don't look so great with my shirt off right now. I'm not horrible, but it's nothing I'm proud of, I can tell you that. So just wanted to talk to you guys. Just wanted to give you some heads up, man. Think about this and know the simple fact is we are what we eat. There's a reason why you can run into folks that are even younger than you and they look twice your age. Look into their life and how they've been taking care of themselves. Consider this: if you're fighting weight issues, if you're fighting fat, if you're fighting body fat, something is wrong. Something is not right. You need to look into it. And it's most likely what we're putting in. Y'all have a good day. Don't worry, more to come.